learning NPC patterns, and setting up ploys to take out enemies. Getting the right disguise is a vital part of this routine, but the value of the disguise system weakens when you realize how comically forgiving the AI is. Even quicker than in most games, NPCs almost immediately forget any wrongdoing once you leave their line of sight. Even if they attempt to follow you, closing a door in their face is often enough of a deterrent. Wonky physics allow you to get away with even more, including failed assassination attempts going completely undetected. Clumsy, unresponsive controls are to blame for a lot of these blunders. You can't scroll through your weapons while moving, turning smooth assassination attempts into ungraceful affairs. Using keyboard shortcuts or just switching out for a gamepad aren't great options either. Slow response times and stiff animations give everything from movement to combat an uncomfortably heavy quality no matter what control scheme you prefer. Then there are the bugs. In my roughly 12 hours...
Must be the Hopkins boy. Where'd you come from? We've been expecting you.
Bully Scholarship Edition for 360 is a remake of the PS2 version that came out about a year and a half ago. And it's been rebuilt with a brand new engine so that it looks a little bit nicer. So you can see there's some really great textures, better looking faces, better character models. There is some slowdown and some texture popping for sure, but it definitely looks better than it did on the PS2. And also Rockstar has added 8 new missions into the game as well. And there are 4 new classes that you can attend in school. And there's also a competitive offline mode so you can buy all your friends into the minigames. Now if you haven't played Bully before, you don't know anything about it, forget the idea of it being GTA in school. This is actually a T-rated game, so while there's a little bit of cursing and there's certainly plenty of violence, there's no blood, you don't kill anybody, you don't rob cars, you don't get a gun, none of that kind of stuff. In fact, this is kind of a John Hughes version of what a Grand Theft Auto game would be. So it's kind of like the Breakfast Club in a lot of ways, except you get to play as the Judd Nelson delinquent the entire time. The game is broken up into several chapters, and in the first chapter, you as Jimmy Hopkins are dropped off at Bulworth Academy by your mom and your new stepdad, and they just abandon you. You're stuck in this horrible...
I don't understand any of this.
Don't worry. You will.
We got snipers.
Tell your men not to worry, Captain. The snipers aren't for you.
What the fuck is this?
This is Dubai, Captain. This is what I face every day. My duty is to maintain order. Without it, we would have died long ago.
This is a test.
Yes, it is. A civilian on the right stole water. A capital offense. The soldier on the left was sent to apprehend him, which he did, killing the man's family in the process. 5 innocent people are dead because these 2 animals couldn't control themselves.
I get it. We're meant to choose.
Choose what? Let's get out of here.
Lugo's right. We need to get as far away from this as possible.
That's enough.
Obviously not, because we're still here.
They are guilty. But what is justice? And how would you see it done? This is an order, Captain. Who lives? Who dies? Judge these men.
The game is more comprehensive on a number of different levels. There are lots of new systems in the games. There's a cash system, there's a notoriety system, and as per usual, there's a rating system. What these systems do is tie everything together so that whatever you do in the game actually has some kind of financial or rating at the end of the level, so that you're either rewarded or punished for what you've done well. Now, for instance, there's a cleanup bill, and the agency has to come in and clean up after you. They have to pick up your suit, they have to pick up your specialized guns, they have to pick up the dead bodies. All that costs money now. If you perform your actions well and you do a level really fantastically and cleanly, you'll get more money, so you have to pay off those guys less and less at the end of each level. A lot of people have complained that Hitman is very inaccessible because of the stiff controls of camera. Well, the stiff controls of camera are still kind of there. They really haven't changed that much. But the way in which you open doors, pick up items, and do ordinary things is a lot easier. There's a little menu on the left upper hand side of the screen, and it allows you to see what items are usable. And so as you're going to a door or picking up, opening up a secret globe with a flask of that liquor in it, or you're picking up a dead body and throwing it in a garbage can or a recycling truck, all these things work out really easily because they're just sort of presented better. The other thing that IO has done to make this game more accessible.
Having gunshots, oh god! Rook Island is terrifying! And you're gonna take the whole place for yourself. Reclaiming Rook Island from an army of horrible people while rescuing your missing friends is extremely satisfying. The goals here aren't as politically ambitious as Far Cry 2, but Far Cry 3 achieves what it sets out to do just as well. In that respect, it's a sequel worthy of the franchise, and an excellent open-world adventure game in its own right. Where Far Cry 3 succeeds most over its predecessor is in its personality. In Jason Brody, we have a main character whose motivations change who he is in a believable way. Far Cry 3 is about power, growth, and greed, and it accomplishes this without letting go of Far Cry 2's greatest values. Both are about constantly overcoming tension, fear, and vulnerability with merciless violence. Where Far Cry 2 is about being caught in the middle of someone else's war, Far Cry 3 gives you a side to fight with and a reason to do it. A psycho pirate named Voss has killed your brother, kidnapped your friends, and runs a slave trading operation on Rook Island. It's dark stuff, and Voss is an awesome villain to make it happen. He's a volatile sociopath, and one of many unforgettable characters in Far Cry 3, all of whom stand out because of their excellent performances.
I feel like that's only an Italian thing. Only Italians can say that.
Even if you don't like certain people, you're not supposed to. Jason and his vapid friends behave exactly like the young and dumb kids they are, but it's Jason's evolution that really sells Far Cry 3.
Trailers leading up to Prototype 2 made it out to be a touching tale. James Heller tells his family to put their trust in the government when a viral outbreak hits New York City, but returns to find his wife and daughter murdered by the zombies the sickness creates. Heller blames Alex Mercer, the anti-hero from the first game. Mercer gives Heller powers for some reason, and then Heller sets his sights on superpowered revenge. It's motivation that makes sense and sounds grounded, but when you start playing, that all fades away. In reality, Heller is just your generic anger guy spitting curse words out left and right.
What the fuck?
It's hard to believe he ever had a favorite. So the weight of what he's going through is lost, and Prototype 2 becomes another action game. Allies give you missions, you kill a bunch of people, then you move on. Visually, the game is working with blurred patches on enemy arms and effects that seem to go through the characters like they're air. Some animations look like they're pulled from the original game, which already looked like they were pulled from 2005's Incredible Hulk. This doesn't look like current generation blockbuster. The good news is that playing Prototype 2 is fun. Heller has 5 main things he can morph his hands into, and pretty much all of them level what's left of New York City and its inhabitants. Jumping into the air, locking onto an enemy, and then shooting in to consume them and take their form is great. The only problem is that this is the same type of fun over and over again. Powers unlock slowly, and by the time new abilities showed up, I was already set on my current loadout that I'd been upgrading through the whole game. This made most
most stunningly beautiful game we've ever seen. But beyond that, it's a pretty fantastic shooter. Solid weapons, intelligent enemies, fairly open level design, with the nanosuit powers to make this one of the more entertaining ballistic showdowns in quite some time. The fact that developer Crytek has figured out how to create a story that doesn't drip with pungent cheese helped us immerse ourselves even more in the experience. Voice acting is pretty good, the in-game cutscenes are also good, and the aliens are menacing instead of campy like the Trijumps from Far Cry. Crytek has obviously learned a lot about presentation and storytelling from their first game. If they hadn't pulled a Halo 2 at the end, I would have been totally pleased with the progression. As with 2004's Far Cry, Crysis takes place on a picturesque island paradise and lush with vegetation and surrounded by gorgeous blue water. The impressive visuals are so far beyond Far Cry that it's hard to even comprehend what Crytek, given another few years of development, will be able to come up with. It's not only the technical aspects that are impressive though, it's also the detail of the monsters.
Player product, it can be outstanding, even if its stability is a little shaky. But those are small issues to put up with because it's some of the most intense shooter gameplay on the market. Just don't bother playing the single player.
The idea of rocket-powered cars playing cage soccer sounds like the inconvenient ramblings of a madman. But it turns out to be just crazy on the word. Rocket League offers dumb vehicle response alongside the widest strategy. And even though it's had consistent server problems, the fast and fluid fluidity of Rocket League is wanting with the chain oversized ball in the hope of scoring a goal. And the heart of Rocket League very much lives in an arcade experience, fluid and consistent. It's so satisfying, I often have to remind myself to pump the brakes or right off the trick. It's simply nudging or bumping the ball in the floor. But there's a golden